Hare Krishna all. Thanks all for joining. So as we are going through, we covered till now the foundational slides, which is talking about what are the four yugas and how to reach Lord in each yuga, and what are the various like lifespan of each yuga. Then we saw about how Vishnu are coming from Krishna, and what are the six appearances of Krishna. Okay, then what are the five topics of Bhagavad Gita it is talking about? Then this 14 planetary system, what four things are common? Birth, death, old age, and disease are common, and how to go out from this material world to the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world, uh, it is Sat Chit Ananda. It is Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledge, and Ananda means bliss. Everyone wants to be so happy, correct? Everyone wants to be permanently happy. So that can be achieved only in the spiritual world. So these are the things we have seen in the foundational slides. Then Bhagavad Gita, we are seeing like it is the conversation happened between Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where the Pandavas and the Kauravas assembled. Arjuna is about the war is about to begin. At the time, Arjuna says, "Okay, I am unable to fight." He's giving this five reasons, like okay, not to fight. So the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called as, anyone say?
Observing the armies in the battlefield.
Yeah, observing the armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay, so Arjuna giving these five reasons, like initially how the Pandavas army and the Kauravas army is being assembled. Then what are the five Shankas of like Pandavas? Then how Duryodhana is talking to Bhishma Dev and uh, his guru. Okay, then how Sanjaya is able to envision like whatever happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he is communicating to Dhritarashtra because Dhritarashtra is blind and he is unable to see that particular thing, what is happening. So all these things we have seen, like this five reasons why Arjuna is not ready to fight. So like one is compassion, then he's saying like enjoyment, whatever I'm going to get from this particular fighting, like I'm not going to enjoy. Then saintliness and fearful of sinful reaction. Then destruction of family tradition. Okay, then he's unable to take any decision, like so indecision. Then he's surrendering to uh, Krishna. uh, Earlier he was considering Krishna as a friend, but now he's considering him as a guru. Okay, 2.7, which is a turning point of Bhagavad Gita, where Karpanya doso pagada svabhavaga prachami tvam dharma samuda chetasya yashreyasya nishchitam bruhidanme sisyaste ahamsadi mam tvam prapannam. Mam tvam prapannam. Prapannam means like I am surrendering unto you. So then Krishna is he listened from here like till here patiently. Then he is going to talk about the Jnana Yoga. First, like okay, first Jnana Yoga, then Karma Kanda, then Buddhi Yoga and Sthita Prajna. Like we are in the last section where Sthita Prajna, like how to become fixed and become fixed in Krishna consciousness. So in the Jnana Yoga, he is talking about we are not the body, we are the soul. He is telling about the 30 characteristics of the soul. Okay, there is no death for the soul. So he is influencing Arjuna to fight because you are not going to kill the body. You are not going to kill anyone because we are not the body, we are the soul. Then 2.31 to 38, like he is saying, you do your duty as a Kshatriya. Your job is like to fight. Okay, if you win, you will get the earthly kingdom. If you lose, okay, you are going to go to the heavenly kingdom because you fight for the fight to protect the dharma. Okay, so a Kshatriya, your prime duty is like to protect dharma. For that, you need to fight. It is not on the violence manner. So, and one more thing in the foundation slide we have seen, like, okay, never in any sloka, this Bhagavad Gita is encouraging the violence, because though it happened on the war field, though it is like a promoting, it is suggesting Arjuna, Krishna is suggesting Arjuna to fight, but it is on the protection of dharma, not for like any violence reason. Okay, the context was on the war field, but the content which he delivered is like, okay, how to live our life. It is a manual. It is a manual for all of us, like a tool, how to live our life. The karma kanda section, like he told, okay, you fight, because if you win, you will get the earthly kingdom. If you lose, you will get the heavenly kingdom. Then in the 2.39 to 53, he's talking about the Buddhi Yoga, which is called Nishkama Karma Yoga, which says, okay, you fight, but without any reaction. Yes, you are giving all the reactions, like, okay, to the Lord, and you just do your duty, like, don't wait for any reaction. Okay, so because initially Arjuna said, I'm not going to fight because I'm going to get a sin. I'm going to get like, okay, the enjoyment which I'm not going to enjoy, just like a this killing my own kinsmen and the family members and relatives. So Krishna is saying, first of all, you're not killing anyone, so you will not get any sinful reaction. If you didn't do your duty, if you are not fighting, then you will get the sinful reaction, and others will scold you, or like others will ridicule you. So this is how Krishna is giving responses to that 5 reasons. Okay, uh, then Arjuna is bewildered. Okay, how is it possible to do the work without any reaction? How that particular person will be, that is Sthita Prajna, who is not bewildered by either victory or defeat, or hot or cold, happiness or sad moments. How that Sthita Prajna, like how he walks, how he sit, how he carry forward his life, like in this particular material world. That is the section like we are in, uh, where Krishna is saying all the responses like for those queries. So let's go to the sloka first. So this one we saw already, 2.68, Tasmat yasya mahabaho nigriyetani sarvasaha indriyani indriyate vyasya tasya prajna pratisthita. Last week we saw one flow chart. Who can say that particular thing? How we are getting attached to the material things, how we are getting birth and death again this material world. We saw detailed flow chart, correct? Everyone agree to remember this and recollect anytime. Any responses?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Contemplating the senses.
The objects, yeah. Object, yeah, very good start. Like contemplating the object when we see.
Attachment.
Yeah, okay. Attachment.
And once we develop attachment, there is lust.
Okay.
And from the lust, there is anger.
If the lust
is unsatisfied,
unfulfilled, if the lust is unfulfilled, then it becomes anger. Yeah, if it is fulfilled,
it becomes greed.
Greed, yeah, very good. Okay. Okay.
And then from unfulfilled lust, it goes to delusion.
Yeah, okay, very good.
And from delusion, there is memory is
bewildered.
Bewildered
Yeah, correct.
memory.
Yeah, correct.
And then the loss of influence.
Yeah, correct. Very good.
And the person falls into the material field.
Very good. Okay. That is how like the living entity is again and again punarapi maranam, punarapi jaranam. He keeps on taking birth after birth after birth among the 84 lakh species. If that is
So
living
to
entity,
prevent on this, we have to do devotional service.
exactly.
That's
So because while doing the devotional service, what we are going to get, because they are able to free from attachment, aversion, they are able to control the senses through the regulative principles of freedom, then they can completely attain the mercy of the Lord. They are satisfied in Krishna consciousness. The threefold miseries like a no longer exists. Then in such consciousness, intelligence is soon well established. If intelligence for the intelligence to establish, we need to follow all these things, restrict the senses, regulative principle follow, then like, okay, seek for the mercy from the Guru or the Lord, then satisfied in Krishna consciousness, then threefold misery will not come, intelligence will be re-established. But if you are not connected to Krishna, you don't have the intelligence, you don't have the steady mind, then no peace and no happiness. This also we have seen, correct? Like anyone can remember what is this sloka? 2.66. नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिरसन्तस्य कुतस्तुकम्. Okay, because one who is not connected to Krishna, he don't have intelligence, he don't have steady mind. When they don't have the intelligence and steady mind, then there will never be a peace. If there is no peace, how the happiness can be? It can never be. So requesting you again and again go through all these slides, like I have it registered in our mind, because this knowledge is, it is a Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. If we all are very very fortunate, like to attend this class and to get this knowledge. Why I'm saying is, not everyone will get this particular knowledge. It is very very rare. It is chosen people by the Lord. Okay, they only can get the knowledge. In the 9th chapter, it comes, okay, it is a Raja Vidya. It is this Vidya is the king of education. Okay, this Raja Guhyam, it is not available to everyone. It is very, very secret. Okay, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, it is very, very pure. Pavitram. Idam Uttamam, it is the topmost. Okay, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyam. Okay, this Dharma been followed by Acharyas and it has been approved. Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyam. Susukam Kartum Avyayam. While performing this, we have to do it with the happiness, and we will get happiness by doing this activity. This is a very, very important sloka. Okay, I think it is 9.2. It is good to go to this particular sloka. 1 second. Nine point, not 23. Yeah, this is 9.2. It is Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshaka Avagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education. It is the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, Pavitram, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. Okay, it is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. So that is the reason, like whenever we get an opportunity to attend any class or to attend to preach to any others, we have to be very very happy, and we will get the happiness like by doing that activity. So we all are chosen people by the Lord, like to get this knowledge, because it was received by whom? By Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Then who got it? Sanjaya got it, correct? Like by the mercy of Vyasadeva. though the same message being passed, okay, the speaker is same, correct? Then the listener depends upon the listener's mood. It varies because the same knowledge being passed to Arjuna, he got transformed by that knowledge, correct? By getting that knowledge from Krishna, Arjuna got transformed, but neither Duryodhana nor Dhritarashtra or nor Kauravas, they got the same knowledge, but they never got transformed. They get their whole of the passion or ignorance like it got increased and they wanted to fight at any cost, correct? So receiving the knowledge is one thing, okay, attending the class is one thing, other thing how it is going to get us transformed, how we are going to apply that in the daily life, like that matters a lot. Okay, please have these things like remembered and revised and recollect and apply in our life. Okay, Hare Krishna. So therefore, O mighty Amravana, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Okay, so we all want to be intelligent, so we need to restrict our senses. Okay, Hare Krishna. So next sloka. यानि स सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः. Muneha means like a muni, the sages. Jagrati means are awake. Okay. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. And at the time of the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sages. Little tricky sloka. So how to understand what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. What is night for all beings? Okay, it is not about like a literally the night and the day. Okay, it is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. For self-controlled person, be it night or day, he will be with the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. The others, be it a day, even if they are unable to get the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, then they are in the ignorance. Here, the night is called as like the ignorance. Okay, and at the time of awakening for all living beings is night for the introspective stages. Whatever material things like okay, the introspective stages is not at all bewildered. Okay, they know this material world is like a only temporary. So the purport we will read in this purport, there are two classes of intelligent man. One is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake of the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. Because materially absorbed person always attached to material things, so he can never come into the light of knowledge. He always will be in the ignorance mode. Okay, that is what in this line means. Okay, materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization. All the time, be it a day or night, they will be in the asleep mode only. The introspective sage remains alert in the night of the materialistic man. So the introspective sage, like he will be alert and he will be with the knowledge all the time. Okay. The sage feels a transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in material activities being asleep to self-realization. The sleep or night, it is mentioned in the sloka, referring this sloka is like okay, related to the self-realization. Dreams of varieties of sense pleasure. He thinks, okay, today I have this much money. I can multiply this money into this one. Okay, I can buy a big car. I can buy a big apartment to increase his sense pleasure. Correct? That is what that lust. If it develop, if it's fulfilled, it is becoming a greed. Okay, because we never satisfied with anything, whatever we have. We always wanted more, more, more. take a ball. Okay, then if the lust is unfulfilled, then it becomes okay. The anger develops. Okay, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in this sleeping condition. Yes, he is not a first of all self-realized. He will be like, okay, sometimes he'll be happy, sometimes he'll be sad. So because in this material world, it is not possible to have the pleasure all the time because it is dukhalayam shashvatam. Okay, the introspective man is always indifferent to material uh, happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reaction. So he never cares about anything on the material reaction. He always like, okay, will do the best thing for the Krishna consciousness. Any doubt in this sloka? Okay, let's move on to the next one. 2.70. Apuryamanam achala pratistham samudram apaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sasantim apnoti na kamakami. So, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean. There is an analogy like how the rivers are entering into the ocean. The similar way, if a person is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desire, the desires like how it comes, it is very tough to understand because we see one object, then immediately one desire like a or that lust to get deposited in our mind. Okay, you might have seen one iPhone 14 or like the excellent the um, very diamond necklace or something, then immediately like our mind gets registered. Okay, that will give this the importance of uh, to develop the desire, or the attachment gets developed, the lust get develops. Okay, so which is ever being filled, but it is always still. Okay, now the ocean, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace. Because just because the water is and coming from the river to the ocean will not get like a overflow, because the river water may be like a too much, but for a ocean it is nothing but like a very small quantity of the water, correct, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. We saw in 2.66 uh, one, how we will not be able to get the peace, correct, peace and happiness we will not be able to get if we are not able to control the senses, if we are not restricting the senses, if we are not restricting, if we are not connected to the Krishna consciousness. That is what it says. Nasti buddhir. Nasti buddhir. Yeah. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya nacha ayuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata santi nasantasya kutastukam. Okay, 2.56. Okay, if you are not connected to Krishna, if you are not controlling our senses, then we don't have the buddhi, and our intelligence will be lost, and we will not be able to get the peace, and we will not get the happiness. But here, how to attain the peace been mentioned here. We should not get disturbed by the incessant flow of desires. Okay, the analogy would be like as the rivers are entering into the ocean, which is ever being filled but always still, like okay, can alone achieve the peace. One who is not disturbed by any flow of desire, he alone can achieve the peace, and not the man who strives for sense pleasure. Okay, that is what been mentioned here. Let's move to the next loka. Vihaya kamanya sarvan पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कार sasantim adhigacchati. This word is very, very important. Nirmamo nirahankara. Nirmamo. Mamo means like a mine. Nirmamo. Without the sense of proprietorship. It is not mine. Nirahankara. Ahankara means like a false ego. I am not the soul, I am the body. That is what ahankara, okay? Nirahankara, without false ego. Who can achieve the happiness, okay? A person who has given up all the desires for sense gratification, who lives free from the desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and devoid of false ego. He alone can attain real peace. Okay. So first of all, he has to control his senses. He has to control his desires. Okay. To control means like it is redirecting from the material desire or material senses to the spiritual senses, because by default it is not possible to control the senses. We can only redirect or transform or transfer our senses from the material things to the spiritual thing. Okay. So one who has given up all the desires for sense gratification, that nothing but material desires. Okay. Who lives free from desires. Okay. Who don't have any desire, material desires. Who has given up all the proper sense of proprietorship. Okay. This is mine. This is my. If you remove that, and devoid of false ego. Okay. I am not the body. I am the soul. If one is in that mood, he alone can attain the real peace. So we saw how the intelligence can be getting, and how we can get the peace also. Okay. Please feel free to stop if you have any queries. The last sloka of this chapter, okay, the second chapter, which is a literally very big chapter, okay. एष ब्राह्मी स्थितपार्थ नैनं प्राप्य विमुह्यते स्थितवास्यम् अन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्म निर्वाणं रक्षति vimuhati, okay, one who is bewildered, okay. Antakale means at the end of the life. Brahma nirvanam, spiritual kingdom of God. That is the way of the spiritual and godly life after attaining which a man is not bewildered. That is the reason if you see yogis, all these great sages, they would be able to control their breaths, because the human life is calculated by the number of breaths we take. Okay, we have been designated. Okay, you will take in your life 7 lakh breaths. So the faster we take, our lifespan is shortened. The slower we take from time between one breath to another breath, the longer we live. You see, like a Dr. Rao can vouch on that. If we are anger, if you are very angry, like
correct.
if you are, yeah, if you are very
So the
angry,
tortoise has got more life.
yeah, correct, Prabhu. Yeah,
Tortoise has got more life
yeah, correct, yeah.
because
So,
of this breathing even.
yeah, correct. So if we are in a very angry mode, if we are very tensed mode, our breathing would be very, very faster. Okay. But the yogi, or like if you are in a very calm mode, if you are not disturbed by any of this external things, then our breathing would be like a very, very nominal, or like the time takes between one inhale and one exhale, it would be like a longer, which will increase our life. Anyway, from the foundational slides, anyone can recollect what we are talking. What is the time takes from one inhale and one exhale of Mahavishnu? That is a lifetime of whom?
The life of Brahma.
Okay, very good, Prabhu. Yeah. How much time it takes?
Suppose around 4 trillion years.
No, Prabhu, it is 311 trillion 40 billion years. It is, we can't imagine, correct? That is like 1,000 times the Chatur Yuga, then It is unbelievable. 311 trillion 40 billion years. We don't know how many ciphers like will come into that particular thing, correct? It's 311 trillion. We don't know how much time like it takes. It is 311 trillion 40 billion years. That is the time duration between one inhale and one exhale of Mahavishnu. Then how great the Mahavishnu is, correct? It is impossible for us to analyze or accept it, correct? So that is the lifespan of Brahma. Okay, so that is what states here. Like that is the way the spiritual and godly life after attaining which a man is not bewildered. Okay, he will not be bewildered. If one is thus situated, even in the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. So they are not at all bewildered by anything. They always been connected with the Lord, be it here or in the spiritual world. They are doing the devotional service. That is what this sloka says. Okay. Any questions till now? Let's go to the slides. These are the things we already saw. This 2.69 activities of materialist and transcendentalists are like day and night. So we seen two classes of intelligence. One is material activities for sense gratification. Then activities based upon the material and the sense gratification. He would be like activities are like day and night. Okay, for him, he is completely in the ignorant mode and he is always in the night. Okay, but for the introspective sage, for cultivation of realization, for him, because he is doing the spiritual activities for the spiritual advancement, is not disturbed by the demand of the senses because he is able to control the senses. The 70, man are not disturbed by incessant, indefinitely flow of desires, is like ocean. See, for ocean, it is undisturbed. The rivers are like a desires, though it is flowing and merging in the ocean is not getting disturbed. The similar way, the living entity engages his senses in sense gratification, then unfulfilled desires, then mind now always agitated and no peace, which we already seen. At the same time, as long as they have the material body, the demands of body sense gratification will continue. But when he connects his engages the senses in service of the Lord, then fully satisfied in transcendental service, and he is not disturbed by any such material desires, then living entity like ocean desires flows but undisturbed. Okay, then he is perfectly peaceful. So we have to develop or redirect our all desires to the spiritual path. That is what then we can be happy. That is what this flow the chart or picture represents. Okay. Okay, so we should not be disturbed with the material desire. We have to be connected to the spiritual path. Then in the 2.71, a person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, false proprietorship, and false ego can only attain the peace. Okay, so because living entity desire for sense gratification will never be removed. Okay, he become desireless only if it can be connected to the spiritual activities. Then he can be connected to the satisfaction of Krishna. Desire for Krishna consciousness, like because the false ego will not be there. He understands, okay, actual position as I am not the master, I am the eternal servant of the Lord. Then false proprietorship will not be there because everything belongs to Krishna. I don't bring anything, correct? Like we saw one pastime last week. Anyone can remember? Which story we have seen last week related to false proprietorship? Anyone can able to recollect the beggar story? How we came to this material world as a beggar, and beggar keep on thinking, okay, he discussed with his master. Master given some money on beggar thinks, okay, why I need to give the money back to master, or the profit comes from that money to the master because I do everything. That is how we are getting false proprietorship. Okay. Then the sense gratification, because understand that Krishna is the actual proprietor and use everything in the service of Krishna. In that manner, we will not have any sense gratification. By doing that, we will attain the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Then we can attain the peace. Okay. So in this particular chapter, we have seen how to restore the peace and how to restore the intelligence. If we are connected to material things, then we will lose our intelligence and we will lose our peace. If we are not, if we are able to connect to the Krishna consciousness, then we can get back the intelligence and we can get back the peace. Okay. Then the 2.72, that is the way of spiritual life one can attain even at a time of death. Okay. Because the whole second chapter, it is called as contents of the Gita summarized. Okay. It is talking about the karma yoga, the jnana yoga, and the bhakti yoga. Okay. After end of life, back to the living, the living entity. The living entity attained Krishna consciousness even at a time of death. He got by ending the material life. His actual life begins in Krishna consciousness, because in that manner he can get the happiness in this life. Then he has to locate as a Brahmasthiti, liberation from the material bondage, and the Brahma Nirvana, attaining Krishna consciousness. In this life, it is possible. Perform the devotional service to Krishna in this life. By doing that, we will be able to go back to the Godhead. So that is what this slide represents. So the whole theme of second chapter is internally renounce. Hare Krishna. So the theme for this chapter 2 is again like a work externally like other people, but internally renounce everything and attach to Krishna. Externally, do not renounce work. Okay, so in the third and fourth chapter, again and again, it will come the tyaga or the renunciation, which Krishna referring. It is not about renounce the work. He is saying, okay, renounce the attachment. Okay, you do the work for Lord, but only the reaction you renounce it, not the work itself. So that is what like he will again and again stress in that particular third and fourth chapter. Okay. So again and again he will stress, because sometimes we should not think that okay, renunciation being encouraged, so let me renounce the work. Okay, I will go as a false tyaga or sannyasa, which is not Krishna is encouraging. Okay, we should not renounce the work. We should renounce the reaction from the work. We should not get attached to that material things. So by doing that, like we will be able to directly communicating or directly connecting with Krishna. Okay, so we should not renounce the work, but we should renounce the reaction of the work. Okay, that is the theme of chapter 2. Then this is a summary. So what is the reflection? Can anyone say, okay, till now in the first and second chapter, what is the reflection? What Krishna is trying to say, and how till now like we understood? Anyone can summarize? Anyone can say Hare Krishna. So, I'll very quickly say. Yes, we have seen all these things we have seen, correct? Very quickly. So again, the chapters 2 in the simple, what is the chapter 1's acronym? Anyone can say? What's the acronym of chapter 1?
Doubt.
Doubt. Very good. Okay.
Doubt.
Yeah. D represents Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. O represents ominous result for the Kauravas. And U refers uncertainty. So that this acronym will help us to remember the summary of the chapter in a very, very easy manner. Okay. U represents uncertainty. Okay. On the mind of Arjuna. So B represents a bewilderment for Arjuna again. T represents what does T represents? Anyone can say? Everyone needs a lot of revision, I believe. T represents like a tyaga. So he is ready to surrender to Krishna. Okay. The second chapter acronym is Gita. Okay. G represents Guru because Arjuna is accepting Krishna as a Guru. I represents identity, which is nothing but the characteristic of the soul, what Krishna is teaching to Arjuna. Then T represents, again, Tyaga. Okay. Sorry, two duties. Here, T represents like a two duties. One is Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma. That is where Krishna is talking about you do the Karma Yoga, Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga. Okay. Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma. Then A represents Atmarama, which is like a self-satisfied Sita Prajna state. Okay. So we have seen the first chapter acronym is doubt. The second chapter acronym is like a Gita. So in principle, like okay, these are the things. This is a very important thing, like because this is what I was saying. Why Arjuna didn't want to fight? He said, okay, compassion for friends and relatives. That is where Krishna says, okay, that compassion should not be on the bodily platform. It has to be on the spiritual platform. So we are not the body, we are the soul. So that he is counterattacking in the 2.11 to 30. No enjoyment, even if victorious. He says, okay, do the karma kanda. Because if you win, you will get earthly kingdom. If you lose, you will get the heavenly kingdom. 2.31 to 37. Then fear of sinful activities and their reactions is counterattacking the responses with 2.33 and 38 and 53. Okay. Destruction of family tradition is counterattacking from 2.45 to 46 and 3.24. Indecision, like in the 2.41, is counterattacking. What is 2.41 sloka? 2.41 sloka. Anyone can remember? 2.40 and 41, very, very important. .40 is Neha Bikraman Asosti. Okay, in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. Like it is encouraging sloka for us to do the devotion service. 2.41 is Vivasaya Atmika Buddhi here. Okay, we have to be determined in doing the devotion service as a focused one, not like a many branched. Okay, so that is how he is counterattacking in this sloka. Okay. Okay. So any doubts, any contemplation like till now how it is going, and any doubts like till this second chapter?
Only thing is we have to revise more. That is only important.
So out of 700 slokas, we covered till today 120 slokas. Okay, that is how much percentage? 120 divided by 700. Who is very good at maths? Almost 18 percentages of the sloka been covered. Okay, 18 percentage, which is the Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapter. So 120 slokas we covered. 120 slokas we covered till now. But we have to revise. Let me tell you, we're not boasting ourselves, but the more you revise, the better you become. Okay, so please requesting everyone to revise again and again all these slides, all these sloka, so that you will be able to preach to others and practice by ourselves also. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any other contemplation, feedback, please let us know. Are we going okay speed or slow speed, or the speed can be like if it can further increase? Like please feel free to say this. I'll just stop.